Dave Anthony, Fox News. Are down across Europe and in Asia. 13% plunge in Hong Kong's market overnight, while on Wall Street, Dow futures are down more than 800 points after nearly 4,000-point loss the past 2 trading days on concern about President Trump's new tariffs on almost all imports. But Fox's Peter Ducey reports from the White House.
And we are not sensing any squishiness on the tariffs from White House officials. They can see the corner of the screen. They know that market futures are dropping all around the world, but this is going in the bucket of short-term pain that they told us they thought was going to come with something worth it for a bigger long-term benefit.
When they look at the fact that we have $1 billion trade deficit, when you look at the trade.
Well, the president on Air Force One last night, this morning, he posted on Truth Social, there's $1 billion per country trade deficit, $1 trillion with China. And he said there's no inflation. Oil and food prices are down, and so are interest rates. Now, today, the president will host Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu at the White House.
The two are expected to talk about tariffs. Netanyahu will likely try to decrease the 17% tariff the president has imposed on Israel. Before the president made his announcement last week, Israel dropped its tariffs on U.S. goods. The president and Netanyahu are also expected to talk about the hostages, Gaza, and Iran.
And speaking of Gaza, there was another round of deadly Israeli airstrikes after Hamas launched a rocket barrage into Israel. Days of storms that hit the south, doing a lot of damage, and flooding areas from Arkansas to Tennessee to Indiana are also blamed for at least 19 deaths. And in West Texas, a second measles death. Another child not vaccinated. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert Kennedy Jr. went there urging people to get the vaccine.
The death comes amid a surging outbreak. Over 600 cases have been reported nationwide since January. Nearly 500 of those were in Texas alone. Kennedy posting on social media that he is working to control that outbreak.
Ashley Strohmeyer, America's listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-687-7979. That's 800-687-7979. 800-687-7979.
Don't get suckered into the same old free phone game by Big Wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk, my sponsor, my wireless company, has a better offer. A brand new free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan for $35 a month. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 15 gigs of data, all on America's most dependable 5G network. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk for your free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan. Pure Talk, wireless by Americans for Americans.
House Republican leaders are advocating the GOP lawmakers approve the Senate's budget blueprint that passed early Saturday. That includes extending the Trump 2017 tax cuts amid Democrat concerns about other cuts included.
Oklahoma Republican Senator Mark Wayne Mullen.
No one in Medicaid, Medicare, and Social Security is losing any of their benefits that are due them. What we're trying to do is cut the waste and fraud out of any of those programs.
However, Delaware Democratic Senator Chris Coons says the Republicans are
frankly lying about the amount of waste, fraud, and abuse in Social Security.
And that the math simply doesn't work.
I don't think you can find $800 billion in just waste, fraud, and abuse in Medicaid and not cut people's benefits.
Both senators appeared on Fox News Sunday. Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
An American soldier jailed in Russia gets a reduced sentence.
Staff Sergeant Gordon Black flew without permission to the East Russian city of Vladivostok to see a girlfriend. He was arrested last May when she accused him of stealing from her. Black's 3-year and 9-month prison sentence has now been reduced by 7 months. This after the 34-year-old's defense team asked the judge to acquit him of making threats of murder and reduce the punishment for theft. Black went to Russia when on leave instead of returning from South Korea to his home base in Texas. Jonathan Savage, Fox News.
A Russian set a record on American ice. Alex Ovechkin scored his 895th career goal, passing Wayne Gretzky for the most in NHL history.
All of you fans, for all the world, Russian, we did it, boys. We did it. It's a history. Yeah!
Ovechkin on TNT. The only downside is Team Washington lost the game to the New York Islanders 4-1. In college basketball, Connecticut won the women's national championship, beating South Carolina 82-59. It's UConn's 12th title tonight. The men's NCAA championship game, Florida versus Houston. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. After a busy election week, Champaign School District shaping up to look very different with new leadership on the board. Christy Arnold, Tony Bruno, and Grace Kang won the vote for full 4-year terms. Altogether, the three got more than 15,000 votes. Illinois State University and its faculty union reaching a tentative agreement Friday, averting a strike that could have begun at any moment. Terms of the deal not released. The agreement comes after nearly 50 negotiating sessions between ISU administrators and the United Faculty of ISU Union. Illinois joining a lawsuit filed over President Trump's executive order that attempts to reshape elections in the U.S. The Illinois Attorney General and 18 other attorneys general suing the administration, claiming the order signed last month is an unconstitutional attempt to impose sweeping voting restrictions across the country. The suit seeks to block certain aspects of the order, including a requirement that Americans must provide documentary proof of citizenship when they register to vote. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
And a good Monday morning. Good to have you listening. It is April the 7th. It's quite the rain over the weekend. I was in Milwaukee, Greg, and I didn't get a drop up there, so it was nice. Okay.
Oh well, yeah, that was to be expected in that general neck of the woods, but here on, and especially south of I-70, where some of those totals were. Well, and enough to generate flooding, standing water in the fields, and even some issues around here with trying to get any field work going.
We needed the moisture, I think, didn't we?
Yeah, oh yeah, there should be. There was already some semblance of a modest drought improvement from previous weather systems. Really, we kind of sit in the midst of moderate drought here in just a much smaller area of east central Illinois, western Indiana, improvement to the north, improvement to the south. Then we should see a categorical improvement to that as well on later next week's drought monitor. But yeah, it's too much of a good thing now in some areas from here on southward and washed away into parts of the Ohio Valley, Kentucky, Tennessee, the Arklatex, double-digit rainfall totals down there, and all that severe stuff too.
All right, it is our meteorologist Greg Solier, brought to you by the Urbana Park District.
They remind you they've got great opportunities for those 50 and up to be fit and learn about health and their partnership with Chris Healthy Aging Center. Find out the details at urbanaparks.org.
Sir, you got you have the floor. What say you on our weather for the week, my friend?
Well, we have a much quieter spell of weather, my friends, for this week. A hint of late wintertime coming out of the Badger State, north of Milwaukee this morning, up towards Lambeau and a little bit west of there to around central Wisconsin airport regions, up there towards Appleton, Oshkosh, Wausau. Snow coming on down, and that's a strong upper system. It'll pivot on southward. Wouldn't be surprised that someone has a claim to fame at seeing a couple of snowflakes mixed into the sprinkles later on this afternoon and evening time, even a couple of sprinkles around for this morning for that matter, as the mid-level cloud works in from the north, and even again a couple of snow flurries around this evening before we move into a hard freeze, widespread freeze warnings with mid-20s. That's uncharacteristically cold for the time of year, but we moderate after a weak weather system middle part of the week. Nothing like the scale of rains that we've had, but a little more muddiness around here middle part of the week, and then a warmer, drier period gets going for the weekend and early next week as well. But we are not done or signifying any pattern shift here to long-term drier weather across the area for this springtime season. So sprinkles around this morning, mixed sprinkles and snowflakes this afternoon, turning partly sunny, breezy, and colder. Should make about 48. Then temperature slide this afternoon on an increasing west-northwest wind. A flurry and a sprinkle this evening. Colder in the overnight, clearing before midnight, and frost and freeze after midnight at 25 for the day tomorrow. Frost and freeze, a hard one early in the day. Sunny skies, chilly weather at 46. Couple of spells of rain late Wednesday, or at least late Wednesday morning into the afternoon. Lingering shower Thursday morning at 53 Wednesday. Thursday high 55. A dry Friday 56. And here comes warmer, drier spring-like weather into the 60s Saturday and Sunday. North of 70 for the beginning part of next week. For CVJ Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
Yeah, okay. I just noted at 10 after 6 this morning. It was pretty light.
Yeah.
So there you got that whole earth tilting summer solstice starting to move our way, my friends. We are there. We are breaking through. And, coming. So this weekend looks awesome. We do have a stever. I have a few spots left if anybody needs their lawn mowed. And most all of us do now because the green has come up and it's a mess.
Yeah, all these little tufts of grass, and it's all uneven.
Usually where the dog pees. I mean, that's more nitrogen and stuff, so wherever olive peas is going to have a little tuft of grass. So.
And little, your morkies.
Yeah. Well, not significant water there, so. Okay,
well,
so
that's true.
If you have a need for lawn mowing, I have a few spots left into my spring stever. This is a 3-month stever, but we're pretty loaded. It's the deal where Jim Brookins, my lawnmower guy, will come over. He'll call or text or something and set it up, and then he'll come mow it. It's average lawn costs $40.
Right around Champaign County.
Yeah, has to be in the county, not making him drive, crazy. Anyway, we'll pay for it. So I'll mow your lawn first time. And that could be a one and done. It could be something you look into if you like what he does.
That's right.
Blows all the grass off, does the weed eater, and kind of trims it, does a great job. So if you want Jimmy, 217-359-2255. That's just a side Stever. We got the real Stever coming up in a few minutes.
Okay.
Today's Stever. But the ongoing till we're full with too many lawns is 217-359-2255. Text Jimmy. And you got to be in Champaign County. We'll mow your grass once, and at least it'll look better than it does right now.
Jimmy working with his brother on that. Speaking of working with your brother, Tomislav Isevich's brother is joining the Illini basketball team.
They call him Big Z, so what is it like to defend 3 7-footers? You got Tomislav, you got his brother Z, and you got Jaxis.
Yes.
That kid's 7'1" or 2. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't know. We need Dennis Rodman. I need a guy to sweep the boards because the 2 European guys, they'll bring them out. If you're trying to guard a 7'2" guy, if they're both starting, do you have 2 guys that can guard that? Because if you're 7'2" and you can make 38% of your threes, which Z does, I would think that'd be a tough defensive thing. Plus, you move the big guys away from the rim so you can get rebounds. So it's a guarding problem. Yeah. So anyway, and he's ranked 69th on the NBA charts.
I saw that.
Tomislav's ranked 61, so you got 2 future NBA guys. What the heck? It sounds good. It was a big deal.
Yeah.
That's a big deal to get Tomislav. Maybe Tomislav's going to feel a little more homey.
I agree.
To have your bro there. He's a twin. How do you have twin 7'2" guys?
I know.
How tall are the parents?
Right.
I want to see a picture of Mr. and Mrs. Isevich.
Out of Croatia.
The mom has to be 6-something, doesn't she? You can't have 2 7'2" twins?
It looks like when he was playing for Arkansas, 8.5 points and 4.5 rebounds in 35 games for the Razorbacks.
Yeah, he started 19 of them. But no, I think you have the family thing going on there. By the way, what Brett Bielema did over the weekend, to me, I want to know if he invented this. If Brett Bielema invented what they did at the whatever it's called, football center, Smith Football Center.
Yeah.
That was amazing. So they had Mom's Weekend.
Oh, I saw some video on that.
I mean, you had Mom's Weekend, and you had the moms on the field playing with the boys.
That's it.
And I'm not going to say they're in CrossFit shape, but they're out there.
Still, what
they're
a
out
blast.
there. They were just playing, trying to. But you can tell some of the kids come from big stock.
Yes,
they're big people.
That's right.
Anyway, it was really, really cool to see the moms playing with the boys, and there was nothing but smiles and laughing. And I saw a woman, 2 women, catch a punt off of the machine. That isn't easy, man.
I know it.
Good for those athletic people.
But they're competitive. If something comes over you, they might be sore today.
Anyway, I guarantee you a whole bunch of them are sore. But good for them to get in their stretchies and go play.
That's right.
And it was awesome to see. But they were creating an atmosphere that was just so unusual. It's like, okay, yeah, the good ones are going to get some money, but this was different. This was like a totally family. I mean, this and all you saw from Brett Bielema was smiles.
Oh yeah,
smiles and laughing, and just they were exhausted and tired. But he said, I don't know if we'll ever get more out of our practice than we did today. The guys are just having so much fun. I saw one of the kids' moms run down the sideline pretty good.
That's right.
It was pretty good. Anyway, really cool for the Moms Weekend and part of the spring practice this weekend in Champaign-Urbana.
Boy, Mom's Weekend is so popular when it comes to hospitality. Some people in the tourism department were telling me down to Sullivan, Illinois, on some of these hotels that had to be booked.
Well, good for them, and what fun it was. All right, not so good for the St. Louis Cardinals, who had a 4-2 lead in Game 1 of the Twilight doubleheader yesterday in Boston at Fenway Park. And Ryan Helsley walked 4 batters.
Darn it.
So they got beat in the first game in extra innings and then got crushed in the second game.
18-7.
Shall we hear the one time? This is all you'll hear today.
The Redbird Recap is sponsored by Helitech Waterproofing and Foundation Repair. Heal your home with Helitech.
With Ricky Horton, I'm John Rooney, and at Fenway Park in Boston, the Cardinals played a day-night doubleheader. They were one pitch away from winning the opener, but Ryan Helsley walked 4 and gave up 1 hit. The Red Sox tied the game in the 9th and won it 5-4 in the 10th.
Frustrating loss in the afternoon game, and then the Cardinals just couldn't get anything going in the evening game as they lost 18-7, giving up 22 hits. Miles Michaelis did not pitch well, nor did Gordon Graceffa, who was the 27th man, because it was a doubleheader.
18-7 the final score. The Red Sox out-hit the Cardinals 22-12. Yet the Cardinal offense has managed at least 10 hits in a game, the first 9, a franchise record.
It's a franchise record. Several of the young guys are still having very good at-bats.
The Cardinals are in Pittsburgh to open a 3-game series tonight. Matthew Liberatore is on the mound, and we're on the air at 4:45.
Is your home showing symptoms of foundation issues? Your home's wet basement, dingy crawl space, musty smells, cracked walls, or unlevel concrete shouldn't be ignored. Helitech can help. Life happens in your home. You and your family deserve the best. Helitech offers proven solutions in waterproofing, drainage, concrete leveling, and foundation repair services. Contact us for a free inspection at helitechonline.com.
When the water's high, we'll keep your basement dry. Heal your home with Helitech.
Padres beat the Cubs yesterday 8-7. Justin Steele on the mound as we take on Texas. That's a 6:40 start over on US 105.9. Detroit over the Chicago White Sox 4-3.
Yeah, UConn won another basketball championship.
Unbelievable.
For the women.
Yes.
Yeah, Gino.
Why was I not for South Carolina? I don't
know either, but I was rooting for UConn.
Yeah.
I don't know. Paige Becker's awesome, and winning her really first national championship, even though UConn has gone on and we know them to win and be part of the NCAA tournament. The final yesterday, 82-59. I caught some of the celebration and Gino talking on the mic and being motivated.
Ratings were plummeted because there's no Caitlin Clark.
I gotcha.
Right.
Yeah, that's tough.
Destiny Jackson is Miss Basketball, and she got that tap on Friday as part of our U of I women's basketball team. Other scores to report: Northwestern split with Illinois on the softball field, and Illinois baseball sweeps Maryland over the weekend.
Excellent. All right, good job, Danny Hartlib. We appreciate that. And also, national championship tonight.
Florida and Houston.
Yeah, talk about, boy, maybe I'll catch part of that.
That reminds me of Illinois over Arizona.
Yeah. Houston's win against Duke was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Duke doesn't lose a lead like that. We're Duke.
Right. And Houston's good, but I got a feeling Florida's glad to be playing Houston and not Duke.
That's right.
Right. No question. I would think Florida could beat Houston. I can't root for the cheater. I can't. Kelvin Sampson.
No, up here I've noticed
cheater.
that no one is for Mr. Sampson.
No, he was suspended because he cheated.
I know.
I mean, come on, man. Bruce Pearl lost.
Wasn't that something to do with Eric Gordon or something? We had him, and then he didn't go, and then he left, and he took us, and whatever.
Weather brought to you by Carl.
Carl reminds you they're always looking for members of the team, and when it comes to your health, they'll help you through every step of the way. Convenient care to advanced diagnostics. Visit carl.org.
Check your Fox Business on those markets coming up.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather for East Central Illinois. Champaign, Van Ness, Saturday, nice and welcome and much needed pattern shift across the area. It points to the east and south coming off those prolific rains, particularly in areas south of the I-70 corridor to the Ohio, and points on southward. Not completely dry, but drier. And we will finally recover back to more seasonal norms around here for the end portion of the week with a big warm-up slated for the weekend and beyond. 47, the best we can muster up today with a few sprinkles this morning and perhaps a couple snowflakes this afternoon. Yeah, you heard me right. Temperatures may drop a bit as skies turn partly sunny, increasing west-northwesterly wind. A couple of flurries and sprinkles early on tonight, turning colder, clearing on the overnight hours, and some frost and freezing conditions down at 25. Freeze warning in effect across the entire area from Champaign County on southward. Tomorrow, frost and a hard freeze to start. Sunny skies, chilly 46. A couple of rain showers Wednesday and Thursday. Daytime temperatures in the low to mid-50s, back up to 56 a dry Friday. 60s for the weekend. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
Take charge of the years ahead with a smart, sound investment strategy and business succession plan. Busey Bank's business and wealth management experts help you envision your best future with powerful insights and proven strategies. Building business and growing wealth since 1868, Busey Bank, proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
right, Tim.
I'm Susan Lee, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stock futures are off the morning lows, but point to a third day of selling. President Trump this morning repeated that he believes the Federal Reserve should cut interest rates. J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon says in his annual letter to investors that recent tariffs will likely increase inflation and will cause many to consider a greater possibility of recession. Though Dimon says the U.S. economy, at least until recently, continued to be resilient. Crude oil prices are losing ground on concerns that a global slowdown will result in weaker demand for energy. Brent crude, the global benchmark, is down to $63 a barrel. There is merger news this morning. Republic Airways and Mesa Air Group will combine and will be called Republic Airways Holdings. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda. Invested in you.
Stay on top of the latest forecast with America's Weather Team in the palm of your hands.
Here's the latest from America's Weather Center.
It's Fox weather updates throughout your busy day, every day.
That heat's going to be out there for one more day.
Temperatures being 30 degrees above average.
Put the power of over 100 meteorologists and the worldwide resources of Fox in your hands with the Fox Weather Podcast. Precise, personal, powerful. Subscribe and listen now at foxnewspodcasts.com.
All right, Tim, Gale Ferrex Trucking, looking for drivers at all?
Yeah, we're going to do a little push here. And until we get the trucks full, I'm going to do something a little bit crazy. We're going to go ahead and reinstitute our $4,000 sign-on bonus for the month of April. So I can guarantee the first two guys that come in are going to get that. Now, after that, that will fill up the trucks, and I don't know what we'll have to reevaluate then, but we'll carry that through either till the end of April or till the trucks are filled up.
To the person listening, Tim, what do they do to get this $4,000 signing bonus in case they'd like to act on that?
They can email me at timo@gftlog.com. They can call my office at 765-793-7131. They can drop by Dedicated Diesel in Urbana at 1313 Triumph Drive and see Mandy, and she can get them the paperwork and get them in touch with me.
This is XYZ Insurance. How can I help?
I have a question about my home policy.
Okay, question about phone policy.
Home policy.
Okay, gnome policy.
HOME, home.
Technology is great, but sometimes it's better to talk with a real person. With Erie Insurance, you have a caring, independent agent who's with you from beginning to end.
We don't have any HOMEs on record.
Your Erie agent in Champaign is Thomas & Ellers Insurance. Go to erieinsurance.com for company licensure and product details.
So while in Milwaukee, we got the inside information that was not made public that Jacob Hurtubise, my son-in-law, got food poisoning along with Terry Francona and 8 other Reds. There were 9 total Reds that were throwing up violently for a good part of a day.
Ugh, I hate that.
Brutal.
But they're all okay.
They're all okay, and Terry Francona was managing the next night. Jacob was walking, but not with authority, the morning that he played that night.
Okay.
He got in the game that night. I said, I can't believe they played you. But they needed him, so he went in there and played left field for a bit.
They're doing as well as you can do for a 3-7 club.
Yeah, not hitting. And anyway, in Milwaukee, we did not see any baseball. We went up there, but we were there. Lovely downtown Milwaukee.
I know it.
Really,
it's such a great town.
We don't partake. Our favorite store is RH. That's the furniture store.
Okay.
So that's,
no kidding. That's
yeah.
a good.
We like
place.
RH. There's also Sweet Diner, but the 150 people outside waiting to get in.
I
so
see.
Not going to do that. We did.
How about that Fresh Market?
Yeah, we were right in there. We walked through there. It's packed always. It's where they have everything you want. Seafood, steak, whatever.
Yeah.
And you buy it right there. It's not my thing. It's too crowded.
Okay.
I'm 914 years this year. I'm turning 914 years old. Anyway, but I did see the protest, the Stop Trump protest.
Mm-hmm.
I did see.
What was Trump doing in Milwaukee?
Yeah, he wasn't there, but they
it was all over.
Just Stop Trump.
1,300 rallies across the nation in the.
Oh, okay. That was right.
A few in Illinois too.
Did they have a really, really huge crowd?
It was big. It was rather big. I heard the echoes off the buildings. I was a street away in our hotel, and they were right at the Pfister where the Cincinnati Reds stayed.
All right.
And they had to get him into buses and stuff with the crowd across the street and the barricades, the police, all that. And there were some totally man-made posters that somebody put on cardboard, but I'd say 90% of them were awfully slick. So how they coordinate and hand out signs, I don't know, but they did not make that sign.
They're very good at this. They do a lot of it. But what exactly was the protest?
Well,
Stop
called
Trump
the hands-off protest.
I want to play some of the response. This wasn't from Milwaukee, but this is typical. I mean, I saw a guy in a walker. And these are sometimes 70-some-year-old people that are so angry.
Do you think they want them to reopen the border, or do they want to keep the war going?
They just I want you to hear these.
Or is it the waste and fraud in the government? They don't want to uncover that.
You listen to this and tell me what I'm missing here. I don't know if we can.
I'm not being sarcastic.
I don't know if you can talk to them.
Okay.
Because our plane of reality is on a different floor.
All right.
I am protesting what is happening with this blessed country. The democracy that was advanced democracy now in transition to dictatorship, and we are almost in the fascist state right now.
In what way are we a fascist?
Well, let's review what is fascism. To me, if you have some suggestions on how to treat a disease, take COVID, and you're shut down, and you're canceled, and they take down programs with statistics and science that you're not heard. That appears to be more of a totalitarian approach. Or if you complain about ABC, then you're off the air. Not ABC News, but
censure,
XYZ, whatever it is.
That would be more fascist.
Censoring is the totalitarian way. Misinformation, the Council of Truth, these are all been in China and the Soviet Union. And so this claim against democracy, I was kind of complaining about losing democracy 5 years ago, and now it's just flipped. So I don't understand. Do you have a view on what is it that Trump and this administration doing this taking on?
He's terrible.
Because we're seeing everything he does.
Let me play some more here.
Anything that Trump stands for?
I think that our fearless leader, Mr. Trump, has a very negative attitude towards the world.
He does? Okay.
And that he is tariffing us and arresting people like they did in early 1940s.
Nazis!
Germany.
I'm a professor, and I'm especially concerned about higher education and cuts to science.
Well, I am protesting the fascist regime, the deconstruction of our constitutional rights and our government.
We've been taken over by a bunch of robber barons who are trying to take away all of our rights, benefits, and liberty.
We want to make sure that the democracy stands and is not eliminated by this fascist regime.
All right, so they've got the playbook on, but what's interesting, I've got 2 minutes. So listen to this clip we got from a woman who made a pretty good point here.
She what?
She made a pretty good point, this person here. Listen to this.
We've been watching history repeat itself, and this is proof. Watch this.
In 1943, the following directive was issued from party headquarters to all communists in the United States. It read, "When certain obstructionists become too irritating, label them after suitable build-ups as fascist or Nazi or anti-Semitic, and use the prestige of anti-fascist and tolerance organizations to discredit them. In the public mind, constantly associate those who oppose us with those names which already have a bad smell. The association will, after enough repetition, become fact in the public mind."
1943 predicting exactly what the left does today. And it doesn't stop there. In 1971, just about 30 years after this video took place, another communist named Saul Alinsky wrote a book called Rules for Radicals. In this book, he said, and I quote, "He who controls the language controls the masses," end quote. This is not a new tactic for the radical left, but it's so crazy how much this 1943 video and directive to communists resembles what we see today.
Yeah, Huh?
Well, that is the playbook. And you.
But how is it that so many people are absolutely bought in and it's not necessarily true, but they know it's true and he's a Nazi?
Yeah, that's a good question because we do have all the data on anything you want. You can look up, but it does force you to think for yourself and not get carried away with what you're hearing as much as what you're seeing.
That's break, and we'll take any text you have on all this, 217-359-2255. That's the Fisher National Bank text line. Yeah, you're very welcome to chime in on anything I just played. We'd love to hear what you think. Back in a moment, it's news time, 7:30 on this Monday, April the 7th, ESPN 93.5.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Markets overseas and stock futures here are all down again, way down since President Trump's announcement Wednesday about broad tariffs on imports. The president says he's telling world leaders we won't have trade deficits with their countries.
To me, a deficit is a loss. We're going to have surpluses, or we're at worst going to be breaking even.
New Jersey Senate Democrat Cory Booker on ABC's This Week.
I've never seen an administration in my lifetime do something so monumentally wrong and that so staggeringly hurts American people.
Besides Iran and Hamas hostages, tariffs on Israeli products are on the agenda today for President Trump and Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu when they meet at the White House.
You're going to have to cancel tariffs on U.S. products.
Israeli ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, on Fox and Friends. The new Trump tariffs include a 17% tax on Israeli imports imposed because of a trade deficit. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. After a busy election week, Champaign School District shaping up to look very different with new leadership on the board. Christy Arnold, Tony Bruno, and Grace King won the vote for full 4-year terms. Altogether, the three got more than 15,000 votes. National Weather Service offices in St. Louis, Lincoln, Chicago, and Indianapolis busy working on surveying damage from last week's storms. Friday, the finishing touches put on those surveys. In total, there were 10 tornadoes that touched down in central Illinois and western Indiana as part of the April 2nd storms. Illinois State University and its faculty union reaching a tentative agreement Friday, averting a strike that could have begun at any moment. Terms of the deal not disclosed. The tentative agreement comes after nearly 50 negotiating sessions between ISU administrators and the United Faculty of ISU Union. The union represents 650 tenured and tenure-track faculty. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Winter's finally over. Time to thaw out and enjoy the sunshine. But is your yard ready? Huh? 2 Minute a Junk Truck can help you ditch the clutter and create the perfect outdoor oasis. From old patio furniture to forgotten fire pits, 2 Minute a Junk Truck will haul it all away. Get ready for cookouts, parties, or just chilling with a good book. Make space for what matters most. Visit 2minuteajuncktruck.com today. Use code RADIO25 to save $25 on your next service.
Hi, this is Kevin Rogers, president of the Philo Exchange Bank. Our bank's been through the ups and downs of the local agricultural community since 1883. With over 147 years of combined lending experience, let our local ag lenders work with you and help your farming operations succeed. Philo Exchange Bank, hometown community banking since 1883, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Actually, I called the provider. It was just going to be a while before I could have service, and I couldn't wait, so I was recommended to Classic. Professionalism, their dependability, credibility, and the service technicians, I wouldn't ever call anybody else.
I truly believe that after people have experienced other companies and then given us a try, they can clearly see the difference.
Visit ClassicPlum.com.
At Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery, we're flooring people with amazing service, great design advice, and unbeatable selection and the best prices in town. It's the perfect time to update your home with waterproof flooring, carpet, hardwood, tile, and more. Then complete your rooms by shopping our incredible selection of furniture and accessories. We also offer great financing options. Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. We're flooring people.
Weather this morning brought to you by Kurt Lenschow, State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm and Kurt are there. Give them a call and get all your insurance taken care of. Here's our meteorologist, Greg Solier.
Hello again, everyone. Let's check weather for East Central Illinois. Champaign, Van Ness, Saturday, nice and welcome and much needed pattern shift across the area. It points to the east and south coming off those prolific rains, particularly in areas south of the I-70 corridor to the Ohio, and points on southward. Not completely dry, but drier. And we will finally recover back to more seasonal norms around here for the end portion of the week with a big warm-up slated for the weekend and beyond. 47, the best we can muster up today with a few sprinkles this morning and perhaps a couple snowflakes this afternoon. Yeah, you heard me right. Temperatures may drop a bit as skies turn partly sunny, increasing west-northwesterly wind. A couple of flurries and sprinkles early on tonight, turning colder, clearing on the overnight hours, and some frost and freezing conditions down at 25. Freeze warning in effect across the entire area from Champaign County on southward. Tomorrow, frost and a hard freeze to start. Sunny skies, chilly 46. A couple of rain showers Wednesday and Thursday. Daytime temperatures in the low to mid-50s. Back up to 56 a dry Friday. 60s for the weekend. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solier.
All right, we have a couple of texts. 217-359-2255. What's Chris say?
Quick question for all of you. Will Charlie Kirk be on campus this week or next? Also, is it open to everyone or students only?
Charlie Kirk will be at the Follinger Auditorium tomorrow night. It is completely sold out. You had to get a ticket. They have security. You can't just bust in and make a scene.
That's Turning Point USA, right?
Turning Point, yeah. Charlie Kirk is a guy, conservative, smart, really, really smart.
America Comeback Tour.
Will there be protesters, Steve?
Yep. They got security ready to go. U of I police are all over that. And, you had to get a ticket issued, and you got to get some people that at least want to have a conversation with them because that's interesting. So you've got to have people that disagree with them. I'm sure they got in. They just applied as a student.
Maybe you'll be able to chat with him. Who knows? If he's around town, maybe he'll check in with us.
No, I'd love to talk to Charlie Kirk. He's 6'5". He's a big figure, and he always has to have security.
Does he play basketball?
I don't know. He's just very, very good at conversation and has a lot of facts.
He's a young guy, and he started Turning Point USA.
30, 35. I mean, he's pretty. How old is he?
And it's for the younger crowd.
No, right. He goes to college campuses all over the country, and he just has a conversation, tries to at least let them hear his side. Because generally, if you try to have a conversation with a progressive, the thing is you're a liar, Nazi, and you don't know what you're talking about. You're believing lies.
And here's what I'm going to tell you, Steve. The number of true progressives is actually pretty small, but very impactful. And the more liberals have kind of gone that way because they somehow took over the Democratic Party.
Yeah.
And a liberal who can be very rational and have some good points is getting shouted down as well.
Yeah.
If you say, hey, you're wrong, they'll just run you out. They don't even try to open their tent up to everybody, which means they'll go somewhere else.
Well, Bill,
Charlie's tour starts tonight, goes to the U of I tomorrow, which is the 8th, and then in the evening or later it'll be at ISU, so it makes me wonder on the time. April 8th ISU, and normal April 10th at Purdue University.
Wow, covering the Middle West right now. All right, a few more from the resistance movement.
Used to work at the NIH, and a lot of my colleagues have been fired.
Were you affected
as a result?
I have a lot of friends who are teachers. The cuts from the Department of Education are pretty scary.
Not me directly.
For me, an ideal America is one where people can protest like this and have their voices heard, and they are the ones who are running the country, not somebody who's taken over the country and no longer allows the First Amendment to be spoken.
All right, speaking of running the country, folks, whatever you think, you could have had this.
I was the first person to be a woman attorney general of California. I was the first woman to be elected district attorney of San Francisco. I was the first person of color to be elected attorney general of California. Whatever. First. Welcome to the Role Model Club. It's tough.
Role Model Club.
Being a part of the Role Model Club means being in a room where sometimes you may be the only person who has had the experiences you've had.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
I have to
I'm
weigh
speaking. $400,000
He said he's
a
going to
year.
repeal the Trump tax cuts.
Mr. Vice President, I'm speaking.
Well, wait.
I'm speaking.
It'd be important if you said the truth.
If you don't mind letting me finish, we can then have a conversation, okay?
Please.
Okay.
We did it, Joe. You're going to be the next president.
So, she just had wine. She had to. That doesn't sound.
I don't know what's wrong with you,
Some
young
of this,
people.
she had some wine.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
Ukraine is a country in Europe. It exists next to another country called Russia. Russia is a bigger country. Russia is a powerful country. Russia decided to invade a smaller country called Ukraine. So basically that's wrong.
Who doesn't love a yellow school bus, right? Can you raise your hand if you love a yellow school bus, right? Just, there's something about and most of us, many of us went to school on the yellow school bus. I was on the bus, go round and round.
Imagine what can be and be unburdened by what has
What
been.
has been.
You know?
Say it
What
again.
can be unburdened by what has been.
Say it again.
What can be unburdened by what has been.
One more
what
time.
can
Yeah.
be unburdened by what has been.
Oh, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, God. But this, listen, you know, where would we be if we had Kamala and Tim?
I don't think she would be a very good manager, and I disagree with a lot of what she thinks, but I'm not even sure what that is. But I think she's actually likable and connects with a lot of people, Steve, believe it or not. And actually, a lot of people were happy to hear that Ukraine is the country in Europe next to Russia and the bigger one. So, because there's a lot of people who really probably didn't know that.
That might be right. You might be right about that.
And that's, and by the way, she got a lot of votes.
She got a lot of votes. Yep.
Yes, she did.
All right, so the tariffs, they're making some knees weak because of the markets in your 401k, which I get it. It doesn't matter what your 401k says unless you really think the world's crashing, because you're not cashing it in today. And if you're not selling, you're not losing. And if there's always going to be a correction of 20%, this is that. And it's a buying opportunity is what I kind of think.
It's a buying opportunity, but people do think it's crashing,
Okay.
and they will sell, and so they're hurt. And what you do, you keep it like it is. We are getting taken to the cleaners, and we are a leader in commerce and business innovation.
You're trying, the trade deals
Our
are
trade
bad.
deals
Yeah.
are bad.
Yeah.
And
why hasn't anybody else done anything about it?
well, because of what you're saying.
Well, okay.
I mean, and Trump's in kind of a position where, and he's of the mindset, and always really has been, that he's going to do this because he thinks that's what we need to do. And I don't think he'll back down, but I think he'll start making a lot of tweaks and adjustments with country after country.
Well, 50 countries have called for deals.
Right.
So that's a start.
That's the point.
Israel got a 17% tariff kick from us to them. Benjamin Netanyahu's in Washington. They meet today. So if he goes to zero and we go to zero, that's kind of the goal, isn't it?
And bear in mind, if they do something, even though that's one of our closest allies, the stock market will say, wait a minute. Because there's hope. Because all of this is a lot of speculation about we're all going out of business, which we always have in the back of my mind. In fact, I would buy Tesla today, and you need to...
What's the symbol? TES?
You know what? I don't know.
Stock symbol.
Because I haven't bought any yet.
Okay.
And believe me, Diane, this I can almost guarantee you. If I say buy Tesla, but don't buy it, it'll double. Now, if I say buy Tesla and buy it, don't buy the stock. It could go out of business. Seriously, though.
TSLA.
What is the stock price? Does it say that?
It was like around
$239.
$239.
Yeah, it's
what?
It was $500, not maybe a month ago.
Yeah. So
it's
artificially.
I see a week high of 700 on here. Market cap.
It may have been, but when this all started about Elon and Tesla, it really took a dive. And they've got the AI for the self-driving. I mean, they're so far ahead of everybody.
You can now program Wrigley Field and drive to Chicago without driving.
Yeah.
You have to sit by the steering wheel. Your eyes have to be on the road, or it beeps because it's watching your eyes.
Yeah.
And there are cameras everywhere, so you can see all the guys in jammies with their keys keying these Teslas, so you can be caught about that.
I don't think we're going to walk away from electric vehicles. I don't think we can get there as fast as some would like because we don't have the infrastructure, but it's here to stay, and Tesla's way ahead. So it'd be a good investment. Do not blame me. Do not blame me.
We came into this conversation about Charlie Kirk, who will be on campus tomorrow night at 7:30. He'll be at ISU around the lunch hour. So there are 2 visits on April 8th, but one's in the afternoon at Norman.
The Redbirds, he's going over the Normal?
That's right.
All
So he was born in Arlington Heights. He was raised in Prospect Heights. He went to Harper College before dropping out in full pursuit of political activism full time.
Yep. Well, I like him. I think he's terrific. 217, Paul says Tesla around 480 split adjusted high. What was that? Robots coming from Tesla robo-taxis this summer. Do you know about those?
You know, that's another thing. They've got this robot that is Tesla. So that's not a separate company.
Well, you know, Johnny, here's something to consider. They have the model now where you buy a Tesla, you drive home, you're home for the evening, your car goes out by itself and is a Uber.
Okay.
It takes people, and they have cameras everywhere. So if something bad, first of all, you can't get an Uber without all the background, all the credit card. So your car drives at night in the city or wherever you live, and they say it'll pay for your Tesla in 3 years. And you're driving in the day. Now people have been in your car, might be throw up, whatever. You have to deal with all that. But the
robot can clean it. Listen. It's an
and
amazing,
there is an extra fee.
We never thought we would, when we were at Philo Grade, that we would be talking about this.
Yeah.
And I want to be perfectly transparent. I'm seriously consider getting a horse as far as my own personal travel.
Nice.
But I think it's great for everybody, and I punch it in to Wrigley and let me know how you go. See?
Yeah. No.
Call me, text me when you get to Wrigley.
So I mean, I think bona fide robots, I understand, pretty common by 2028. Is that like Rosie from the Jetsons kind of thing?
Well, let me tell you something about those robots that I am seriously excited about for the baby boomers, which is you might have home care options that simply don't exist right now, that a robot can do so much of what needs to be done, which is simple, critical things.
Yeah, help somebody to the bathroom,
That's it.
make them a dinner.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's going to be a big deal because we don't have enough good people doing it.
It's hard work.
And if Diane, as you know, just about all of us would like to stay at home, but you cannot do that at a certain point in life without help.
Yes.
And if you have a robot, it could be something.
I think the robot could handle all that.
I do too.
Yeah. That would be fascinating. Well, I think we're closer than I think in our lifetimes we're going to see them.
It sounds like in a couple of years.
Yeah, it's amazing. But what about going buying a $38,000 Tesla and having it paid in 3 years when you're at home and the car's driving people? That's interesting. Would you get in a driverless car now?
No.
I think I might. They were doing them in Phoenix. We saw one come up. It's kind of creepy because nobody's in it, but you can get in if you called it. So they're doing testing in Phoenix, and it was quite amazing going, where's the driver?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Of course, I've watched some movies, not very many. And you get in and go to Wrigley, and then all of a sudden you're heading south, and you go, where am I going? Click, door's locked.
Oh,
it's like
you're in trouble. Who would you call on that?
And, well, your phone doesn't work.
Huh? They block it.
Jammed it. Yeah. No, so you can go anywhere you want right now because it's all possible. And a lot of us really don't trust as much as we would like to.
There has to be like an emergency release of some kind. Jammed it. No, you saw iRobot, right?
Well, yeah, actually.
It's kind of like that.
It is exactly like that. So
I want to leave my house. Click, lock door.
That's right.
That's kind of bad. Yeah. Just think how happy Joe Biden would have been had he had that for COVID. He'd have been able to shut everybody down.
Well, we wouldn't have to go out of the house if we had robots to get some milk.
Well, we'd be fat.
I
really
would put
big.
my robot in a driverless car.
We lost a little bone mass over the years.
That's right.
We won't have to do anything.
Just like Wally.
Wall-E,
exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Got the recliners and we're just going around the ship.
It's Brother Johnny. There's Diane Ducey.
Morning.
I am Stevie J. It's 10 till. We'll check your weather. Coming up. You've changed thousands of diapers, played hours of peekaboo and duck, duck, goose because you'd do anything for your kids. That's why it's so important to protect them with life insurance from State Farm. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow will help make it easy and affordable to help you protect your family no matter what the future holds. Because for the people you do anything for, life insurance could mean everything. Call State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow in Champaign-Urbana today. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Let's check weather. We have a Stever I'll tell you all about in a second. Weather this morning brought to you by Kramer Siding and Window.
And they remind you it's a good time to be looking at that backyard. And if you think there are some aging materials and changing seasons making the roof vulnerable, you can contact your local Owens Corning Platinum Preferred Roofing Contractor. Visit kramersiding.com.
Well, again, everyone, let's check weather for East Central Illinois. Champaign-Urbana vicinity, a drier weather pattern expected for this week. Much quieter as well across the area from a severe weather standpoint. A little on the chilly side for the next couple, a hint of late winter time, but full-fledged spring will be in our midst here for the weekend and into next week as well. We'll have a couple of sprinkles evolve as the day wears on today. Upper system and a strong cold front on the move. That may lead to a couple of flurries mixed in later on this afternoon and evening time up to 47, and maybe a drive southward on temperatures. They'll fall a bit this afternoon on an increasing west-northwesterly wind and a partly sunny sky. A few flurries and sprinkles early on tonight. Clearing skies, colder overnight frost and freeze at 25 for the low. Tomorrow, hard frost and freeze to start. Sunny skies, chilly, and 46. 33 tomorrow night, low to mid-50s, and a couple of rain showers here Wednesday to Thursday. No big amounts. Dry Friday, 56. We warm it up nicely for the weekend at 61 Saturday, 67 on Sunday. Should top 70 around here early next week. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
Here's another home improvement insight from Kramer Siding and Window. New roofing and siding are a winning combination that can instantly change the look, feel, and function of your home. Our Kramer Siding and Window team takes pride in being an Owens Corning Platinum Preferred contractor, able to offer a best-in-the-business 50-year warranty. Pair it with preservation siding in your favorite style and color, and your home will be a showstopper. Start today and save 10% on roofing and 25% on siding. Call us, click on kramersiding.com, or visit the showroom in Champaign.
I'm ready. Let me just grab my bag. Sweatpants, huh? Didn't know we were keeping it casual this month. Yeah, I feel bloated every now and then.
You have to try new Align 3-in-1 Biotic Gummies. They have prebiotics to nourish good bacteria, probiotics to help relieve occasional bloating, and postbiotics for immune support.
All that in one gummy?
Yep. So no sweatpants next time?
Not anymore.
Align 3-in-1 Biotic Gummies for gut health support. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Got a plumbing, heating, cooling, electrical, or sewer problem? Look no further than Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electric. Locally owned and trusted, Fred's team of professionals is ready to tackle projects both big and small. Why waste time and money on complicated DIY fixes? Fred's experienced team will get the job done right, saving you time, stress, and cash. And when it comes to sewer problems, make sure you call Fred's for a second opinion you can trust. At Fred's, they do it all. No project too big, no project too small. They do installation, repairs, replacement, and maintenance, and they now offer service agreements. For reliable service, professional expertise, and solutions that work, call Fred's Plumbing, Heating, Air Conditioning, and Electric today, 217-586-3863, or go to fredscu.com. You can always trust Fred's.
Yep. Okay, so it's Monday. It is April 7, ESPN 93.5. Current temperature is 38 degrees.
Florida and Houston tonight, 7:50 on CBS.
Florida and Houston. I mean, it might as well be St. Paul and Sacramento.
No,
I was Auburn and Duke.
Well, you still have that chip on your shoulder. Poor Calvin Sampson. But I would like to see Florida win, although...
Who's their coach? I don't even know who the coach is.
I was offered, an honorary PhD from Houston. So, I mean, it could have been my school, but I'm in Illinois.
We like that thought. That's a good one, but it has nothing to do with basketball and Kelvin.
Well,
it was whole Eric.
Florida's good. Got a great point guard.
Is the coach?
Who is it?
Todd Golden.
Has anybody heard of Todd Golden?
The Florida coach?
Yeah.
36.
I've heard of him, but I don't know him. He's good.
And what about Tomislav Isevic's brother Z coming down? 272 guys. Will they both start?
Well, we'll have to talk to coach.
And if you have 272 guys that shoot 38% from three, how would you guard that? Do all the big men have to go out and guard them, or they just let them free? Because you won't rebound if you have your 7-2 guy go guard the 7-2 guy.
And Tomislav's a great 3-point shooter, but I'd lean toward putting the boys under the basket because let me tell you what, the other 11 or 12 or 14, they all can shoot the three. So we really don't need those guys shooting. And the other guys are not 7-2. And I always thought Tomislav did pretty good in there, to cover. And
they say he needs help more on the post moves. He is more.
Now he's got his twin brother.
His twin brother does the same. I think they both have similar strengths.
Defensively, I think they could be. Okay, don't know.
Yeah,
but that's when I think 7-2. I think a rim defender.
Yeah, it's hard. I would think it'd be very hard to go in on a 7-2 guy with a reach like that.
With two of them.
Yeah. Right.
Two of them.
Right.
So.
All right. So we have a Stever, the program where I give you my money and you spend it. Today from Long Branch Steakhouse up in Gifford, I'm handing out $50 bills while they last.
It's time for Long Branch in downtown Gifford, 210 South Main Street.
217-359-2255 is our Fisher National Bank text line. A lot of them come in there. We're going to go to the website, gostever.com. And if you're not a member and you haven't joined, you might as well join so you can get in on these deals.
It's wild. In my online search, it says menu highlights, fresh mushrooms, and the Brussels sprouts come up.
No, they're good.
Along with the mac and cheese.
Yeah, the mac and cheese has completely changed since one of you said it was bland and he didn't like that. So
There's
he made
a little kick of smoke.
Beautiful.
On the
it's
back
fantastic
end.
best mac and cheese I've had.
Nice finish.
So if you would like a $50 gift card to go to Long Branch and have some steak, 217-35, I keep giving that. It's gostever.com. GoStever.com, and that's where you go, and you can register and enter in the same motion if you've never done it. If you are registered already, just get on there and click me, and you'll get an email tonight after 8, somewhere around there, if you win.
Wednesdays to Saturday from 5 to 9.
And guys standing on the corner digitally giving out $50. You can imagine a lot of people want this.
That's right.
And that's fine. That's good. And we are happy to provide that for you on today's offer. After you go there within 7 days, then you get a survey that'll come up on your phone, and then you fill that out, and you'll be ready for the next one. Boom, little feedback. All right, so we are covering it all right here, 217-359-2255. You're always welcome to text in, Fisher National Bank text line. Watching the markets down 800-ish right now after going down 4,000 last week because of fear of tariffs. 50 countries reportedly have contacted the White House already.
Okay.
Saying we want a deal. And if they're charging us 15% tariff, think if all that went away.
Yep.
How much money our country would save and get access to markets.
Let's all do a worldwide truce on the tariffs.
Well, if we did that, we'd make trillions more than we are right now.
That's
trillions of dollars would meld
Everything
in.
at
And
face value.
my widget would be sold in other lands because they'd buy it because it would be price competitive.
That's right.
So if we were able to get that done, it'd be pretty amazing. Of course, the people in the streets and the weekend of resistance were saying he's playing golf. Well, yeah, I think he did play golf.
Well, you need to do a little mental escape every once in a while.
What do you want? He's decided the tariffs are the way to go. History will write if it worked. If it didn't work, they'll write that too. They're trying to write it now. It's not over. We've got to wait it out to see exactly what happens with pricing, with inflation. He's got a rub with Jerome Powell, who's in charge of the Fed. I don't think they get along very well because he thinks that the interest rate should be coming down now, and Jerome Powell's an independent guy, and I don't think the president could fire him if he wanted.
Jerome Powell, 72 in D.C.
But he has a term that I think he's determined to fill, I think 2 more years.
Okay.
But Trump strongly believes that, and I think it should be independent from pressures of a president, but he believes that all the indicators are that the interest rate, and I think they will be coming down. He's just, the determination is when. A minute before 8, the news coming up.
At Christie Clinic, our commitment is for the care of our community. That commitment includes keeping care local where our patients, their families, our clinics, and their hospital of choice are located. Our providers live and work here. It's their passion to care for their families and neighbors. Thank you for choosing Christie Clinic, your hometown provider. When you do, you support the health and well-being of your community.
You have money laying all around your house. You just don't know it. And no, I don't mean selling your great-grandma's good china. I mean all the old metal items you don't want to use or get rid of. Don't pay someone to haul it away. Bring it into Max Twin City Recycling and get paid to have it taken off your hands. They love new customers and are more than willing to walk you through their process step by step. Come check them out at 2808 North Lincoln Avenue in Urbana.
Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
You're listening to WSJK ESPN 93.5 Tuscola, Champaign-Urbana, your home for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Are we headed for an economic nuclear winter? I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. As stock markets keep falling, that's what influential hedge fund manager Bill Ackman has warned about President Trump's new U.S. tariffs leading to retaliation from other countries.
The president has made it clear that this policy, he believes, will help American workers.
That's the director of the White House National Economic Council, Kevin Hassett, who also tells Fox.
As the idea that it's going to be a nuclear winter or something like that is completely irresponsible rhetoric.
And Fox's Peter Ducey reports from the White House.
This morning, President Trump has already called on the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates. He is signaling that he is not going to back down off the tariff strategies, so he thinks the Fed should act accordingly and act quickly.
When you look at the trade deficit that we have with certain countries, way over $1 billion per country. But with China, it's $1 trillion.
And when it comes to the market sell-off here and overseas, the president also told reporters at Air Force One last night sometimes it takes medicine to fix things. Dow futures are now down about 900 points after the Dow plunged nearly 4,000 the past 2 trading days. President Trump will talk trade with Israel's prime minister at the White House today and the ongoing war in Gaza after another deadly round of airstrikes. Israeli ambassador to the UN, Danny Danon, tells Fox,
with all due respect, there is suffering in Gaza, but the one to be blamed for that is only Hamas.
And Hamas launched a barrage of rockets into Israel over the weekend. Days of storms that did damage in much of the south have left at least 19 people dead and many areas flooded with dozens of rivers still rising. Fox Weather's Mike Seidel reports from Jacksonport, Arkansas.
The White River is going to crest later on today, but then stay above flood stage till Wednesday. The river has actually come up 25 feet since late last week, so it's way, way over its banks and still rising about another foot. Many farmlands are still underwater.
Another loss in court for President Trump this morning. The full U.S. Court of Appeals in D.C. blocked his removal of Democrats from 2 federal labor boards, calling it unlawful. America's listening to Fox News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Do you find yourself stuck in a timeshare? Get the real facts about the timeshare industry and your options for cancellation. Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group, has put together a free information guide that reveals the secrets the timeshare industry doesn't want you to know, including the 5 ways to get rid of your timeshare. Call now and get this timeshare cancellation guide absolutely free.
Call 800-687-7979. That's 800-687-7979. 800-687-7979.
Don't get suckered into the same old free phone game by Big Wireless. There is a better way. Pure Talk, my sponsor, my wireless company, has a better offer. A brand new free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan for $35 a month. You get unlimited talk, unlimited text, 15 gigs of data, all on America's most dependable 5G network. Just dial pound 250, say the keyword Pure Talk for your free Samsung Galaxy with qualifying plan. Pure Talk, wireless by Americans for Americans.
There has been a second measles death in the outbreak in West Texas, another unvaccinated child. An unvaccinated adult has also died of measles in New Mexico. Health and Human Services Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. went to Texas. He was seen outside the church where the funeral for that child was held yesterday.
RFK Jr. said on social media he's in Texas to comfort the families of 2 children in the state who have died from measles. He said there are 642 confirmed cases of measles across 22 states. Kennedy was a vaccine skeptic in the past, But in a post on X, he said the most effective way to prevent the spread of measles is the MMR vaccine. MMR is the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine. Jill Nato, Fox News.
A lot of people went to the movies over the weekend.
The best-selling video game of all time sparking the biggest movie opening of the year. A Minecraft movie bringing in $157 million in ticket sales from theaters in the U.S. and Canada.
Anything you can dream about here, you can make.
The film starring Jack Black and Jason Momoa breaking the first-week record for a video game adaptation previously held by the Super Mario Brothers movie. A Working Man starring Jason Statham falls to second place in its second week, adding $7.3 million. Third place goes to The Chosen Last Supper, earning $6.7 million over the weekend. Kathleen Maloney, Fox News.
They are celebrating another women's college basketball championship at Connecticut.
We hadn't played our best team basketball yet, but we thought we were saving our best performances for this weekend.
Paige Beckers led UConn to a 12th national title, beating defending champion South Carolina 82-59. Tonight it's the men's NCAA tournament championship game. Houston, which has never won the basketball title, takes on Florida, the back-to-back champions in 2006 and 07. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Y'all are probably too young to remember. Maybe not you, Sully. Sorry. But there was a time when Houston was in the national title game, and they had a basketball team that they nicknamed Phi Slamma Jamma because they'd just fly. Like the fly in the line, except before them.
Right.
And I think Akeem Olajuwon. So you were talking about this. It was a long time ago, but Houston was in the national basketball championship game against another team that had captured America's heart, coached by Jimmy Valvano, who died of cancer.
Oh yeah, Jimmy V.
Jimmy V. And they played North Carolina State, and they were the Cinderella team. There's no chance. Phi Slamma Jamma, Akeem Olajuwon, Clyde Drexler. I mean, they had this, but they couldn't make free throws. They were these athletes that just couldn't make free throws. And Guy Lewis was a guy who was the coach of the Houston Cougars at that time, and he had a towel that he put over his head when they were shooting free throws. He just put it over his head, didn't want to watch. And they ended up losing on a last-second shot to North Carolina State, and Jimmy Valvano famously ran around with his arms in the air, and that was Jimmy V.
Okay.
And that's the only time I remember Houston even making the title game. Well, tonight they play against Florida, and many of us around here don't like Kelvin Sampson or don't care for him because he's a known cheater and was busted and suspended and all of those absolutes, along with Bruce Pearl, who we all know in our history, those old enough. And so it's hard for me to root for Kelvin Sampson, a long career. Well, he cheated. Anyway, that's just me ranting, Greg. That's all.
No, that's okay. I had
the pool here in front of me. I had 3 of the 4 Final Four, but I had Auburn playing Duke tonight.
Yes.
So I'm
Me
out.
too.
Houston against Florida. Dirk Rice, master farmer, recognized by a magazine in Illinois as a master farmer. He had Florida and Houston.
Oh, wow.
Come
Good
on,
job,
man.
Dirk.
Not only can he grow awesome crops,
Oh, yeah.
and, as a fine farm, he can pick them.
Name of one of 4 master farmers in Illinois. So how about that? All right,
Congratulations.
yeah, it really is a cool honor. Our weather brought to you this morning by Busey for over 155 years, member FDIC. And if you need an assessment on your copier, why don't you call locally owned Watts Copy Systems? You might save some money. Call Watts at 217-352-0428. All right, it's our esteemed meteorologist taking a look at our week after kind of a rain and cold weekend.
Yeah, boy, many a stream and river to our east and south. The Wabash, for example, you get down in around Columbus, Indiana. That White River is running almost 9 feet above flood stage, and 5 to 10 foot above flood stage levels for many a stream and river over the southeastern plains into areas from the Ohio on southward. So, they're idled up on outdoor work, field work, trying to get back at it, let things drain on off, and then replanting again going on down there. We've got a little window of opportunity after a little reminder of late wintertime coming our way the next 36 to 48 hours, especially regarding temperature. And then better, but not completely perfect, nor completely dry. And once we get out of this 10, 12-day cycle of drier weather, looks like the thunderstorms and the showers are back into play along with a little more typical early spring feel around here. So temperatures up, but rain chances are back up here as we move forward in the next 10 days to 2 weeks. Out the door this morning, a nip in the air, but the sun is out. A couple of clouds clouds to the south, building to the north, 39 at Willard and Savoy, 37 at Rantoul later on today, 47 the best we can muster up for you, and maybe even a drop in temperature. So that's a cool day's worth of high. Sprinkle around later this morning into the early afternoon. A mixed snowflake north of Champaign late this afternoon and evening time, and even a flurry here tonight with a overnight low and clearing skies late to 25. Watch that freeze warning. A little late in the season for this kind of cold. So it's a cold start to the day. Tomorrow, sunny, chilly, just 46, 33 tomorrow night. We bump back up into the low to mid 50s Wednesday and Thursday, and a couple of more showers. Good coverage, quarter-inch amounts across the area. Then drier weather on Friday at 56. And warm up for the weekend into the low to mid 60s Saturday and Sunday, heading towards 70 next Monday. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm Elocious Greg Solier.
All right, thank you, friend. Appreciate it. We needed the moisture, according to my farmer friends. All good. We'll get it going. Planting will resume here. I don't know, month? Less than a month. Sure, certainly less than a month. They want to get out there when they can, I think. Okay, so look who showed up at the Ark. Look who showed up at the Ark. Coleman Hawkins.
Yeah, no, it feels good to be back. I kind of had to lie to some people. I promised $1,000 to a winning team. I needed some people to show up, to be honest. I didn't know if I still had the juice or not, but yeah, we got some people up here. It's fun being here. I love the fans. Everyone's great out here. Super nice. So no, it's good to be back here, and hopefully no one does win, because I might get beat up if I don't give them some money. So
I was gonna say, you guys have taken it so far, right? What, you get 2-0?
2-0 so far. These are long games, 1-2, so 15. I don't know if I could be out here much longer. I haven't played in like 2 weeks. So
yeah, Coleman Hawkins, who got $2 million to play for Kansas State for 1 year with no postseason. Oh well. Could have paid somebody $1,000, and for him in a pickup game, he and I'd win Gus Macker if I was on his team.
Yeah, baby,
Here.
Gus Macker.
Hey, Coleman, I'm going to shoot the next 10 times, you rebound. Let's go. Anyway, no, he's obviously in the Ark crowd. He's all world. Nobody can stop a 6'11" guy like that. Anyway, it was kind of he's affable. People like him. He went for a lot of money. Good for him. And would he have helped our team? I'm sure he would have. I mean, he had moments of really, really great basketball, particularly the Terrence Shannon Elite Eight team. So, and then we'll see what happens. Final line, I signed Thomas Isavich's brother Z.
Yeah, Zvonimir. Zvonimir.
Yeah, Zvonimir Isevich.
And Tomislav.
Yeah, and to have the twins together, I just am fascinated by, first of all, if you have multiples, they tend to be a little smaller. So you have two boys, and even if they're 7 pounds each, I'll give them 7 pounds each. That's 14 pounds. How do you possibly both get to be 7'2"?
Man.
I don't usually, one twin's taller than, I think Z is 7'2" and maybe Thomas is 7'1". But how do twins, and how tall's the mom? Because I think when the mom's tall, I think it really matters big time. And so if the mom's got to be, I mean, can you just Google the parents of you?
Well, I'll tell you what.
I don't know how do you have?
I could just in high school I could imagine being their uncle, and hi, Uncle Johnny. Tomislav, you've grown a foot. Yeah,
right.
That's right.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I mean, just generally speaking, multiples aren't super tall. They're both super tall, so something's going on in that gene family. Anyway, it's amazing. So they're going to be good for Illinois. Brad likes puzzles.
That'll be fun for them, being together.
Being together. The parents would probably love it. The fact that they don't have to switch back and forth between Arkansas and Illinois. Now they can wear their orange and blue and come to America and see a few ball games. But again, this is what basketball is now. This is like every year is going to be this. I don't care for it. I really like Kendall Gill being drafted as a skinny freshman out of Madison, Illinois, and watch him lift weights and grow. And Kendall's got this great team. We're going to know people for 6 months.
Well, we do have, we're better this year. I'm going to count Tomislav's twin as a gain. And
huge. No, I totally think it's a big
as far deal. As now we got two guys staying.
Yeah.
He's a twin, same thing.
Jake Davis is staying.
Then you've got Jake. You also have
Kylan Boswell.
Kylan
Boswell is back, and Ty Rodgers is big. Michigan State wanted him bad. He's the one that got away for Tom Izzo.
We have a really good start this year. Last year we had Gibbs Lawhorn was the only player who came back.
Then we
and
pieced it
he's
together.
good. And he's in the portal, but hey, you don't know.
You never know. I think Trey White's going to Kansas. And I want to know if Trey White wanted the ball and to be the man. Is he going to be the man at Kansas?
Bill Self will give it to him.
Okay.
You know Bill. You can go. Just call him.
I got his number.
Bill, are you going to let him have the ball?
Exactly. But no, Kansas obviously is, heralded program. But you got to look at Trey White. 3 high schools he played for and 4 now colleges. So Trey's kind of a nomad. He's a traveling man.
Like I said, he knows a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that'd be nice to have contacts all over the country.
Exactly right. Anyway, and I think Trey White will make money in Europe for sure. He can play. He's
really a good player.
He's a good player.
Yeah.
I don't think he makes the league, but I think he totally
Yeah,
makes
I
money in
wouldn't
basketball.
sell him. I'm not going to give you that yet.
Yeah. All right, Long Branch Steakhouse. That's the Stever. Handing out $50 bills. Go to GoStever.com. Boy, Cardinals tough couple of games. They should have won that first one at Boston yesterday, up 4-2, 1 pitch away from winning the first game. And Helsley walks 4 people and 1 hit, and it's tied, and the Boston Red Sox win in 10. Yikes.
Well, let's hope they do well against Pittsburgh. Yep. And it looks like Matthew Liberatore.
Yep, Matthew Liberatore.
On the mound.
Matthew Liberatore.
Right. And then 5:45 for the start here on ESPN 93.5.
Cardinals have been legendary in having the second most people go to baseball games outside the LA Dodgers every year.
Okay.
And this year, they're showing with their feet what they think of how the Cardinals have been managed over the last few years, and they're not coming. And you see pictures of Busch Stadium, and it's stunning.
Really?
It looks like almost like what they get in Florida. Nobody. So I think the Cardinals are making a statement with the fans saying, we don't like the fact you signed 0 people in the offseason to get better, and we don't think you have the team to do very well. So
now, what's the Cardinals' record?
I haven't checked the standings this morning. I think the Cardinals are, I don't know now. Cubs are in first.
And
they're always in first in April, Steve.
Although yesterday the Padres won 8-7, but it was great.
But the Padres were undefeated.
I know.
And the Cubs almost swept them 4 games.
Yes.
So the Cubs are doing great.
Okay.
And so Friday for opening day at Wrigley for the Cubs against the Padres, I was thinking, oh man, it is just such a bummer when you open with a loss because the Padres are coming in at 7-0, and by golly, they won that one.
And so you've got the Cubs at 7-5 lead the Central after 12 games, only 150 games to play. We got this. Milwaukee 5-5. The Cardinals are 4-5.
Okay.
Cincinnati 3-7. Pittsburgh 3-7 in the National League Central.
Well, that's a good league to be in, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
But I think the Cardinal fans might be a little bit rough if they're 4-5. I mean, come on. But that 18-3.
Yeah, it's 18-7. They did rally.
Oh, good. There you are.
Yeah.
There you are.
Score 7 runs in a game, and you're within 11. That's not good. Cincinnati, who I follow, of course, we play at San Francisco tonight. The last time San Francisco lost was when the Reds beat them in the first weekend. They've won 8 in a row.
Okay.
9-1. They're beating the Dodgers right now. They're first place in the West. These San Francisco Giants are hot stuff.
I know typically we don't take calls, but Mike had a question about Illini basketball in case you want to get him on.
Mike, I know nothing, but I take your call, sir. Go right ahead. I'll answer it, even though I don't know it.
Well, but I figure between you and Johnny and Diane, you guys could all figure this out. When do you think the NCAA on these portals is going to get their heads together and say, listen, you guys have got to sign some kind of a contract that says you will stay for a certain amount of time so these coaches can build a team instead of people getting mad and not getting enough play time and just going off to another team.
I think it should be a 2-year commitment for sure.
At least.
And I think more the kid who, as soon as they commit, starts getting calls from North Carolina or Michigan. We'll double it next year.
Yep.
Think of us now. I mean, it goes on from day one, and it's terrible. And they're not focused on anything but forget real college, Steve. I think it's all about playing as a professional.
Yeah.
But it'd be nice to have a little bit of education go with it. But with every year, you're right, Mike. It's they need to do. I would think you would get people on board with a 2-year commitment because the 1 year is ridiculous.
And not only that, I think with this portal, if say they sign them for $2 million, and they say, this is, I don't know, $2 million. If you don't play the second year, you got to pay all that back. It's just getting so ridiculous for a coach to try to build something in anywhere, and all of a sudden half your team says, "Well, I'm not getting enough playing time. I'm not getting this." You yelled at me during the game.
No, I know. No question. They get mad. The parents are mad. They're not using their son right. No, it's what they deal with all the time. I think it's crazy. I think they made a good attempt. I thought they were going to get $25 every time somebody bought the jersey. I was a little off on that idea.
Right.
So.
Well, yeah. Well, as far as building a program, all you can really build is I guess an endowment account or a sports account and buy as many good players at the time that you can get. And there's no real precedent in sports for that revolving door.
And to be
approach.
Immediately eligible, that used to be the deterrent, is if you have to sit out a year.
Well, the NBA used to at least say you have to be 19 years old.
Yeah.
Well, that's even gone.
Yeah.
And so now between the pros and all the other schools, you're lucky to have 3 or 4 guys from last year.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize.
Yeah.
I didn't realize till the other day. A friend of mine she was a pretty decent college ball player. I didn't realize that they changed. If you go to a 2-year college, that doesn't count towards a 4-year college. So you can actually go 6 years.
Amazing. I don't
know.
know.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I guess
they're prolonging everything, and with what they're making in endorsements on top of what the schools are paying, man, these guys are making just out. Why would you go pro? You could play in the league that you're in and do really well and make. I realize that, but man, I just don't understand that.
You know what Cooper Flagg's going to earn if he signs as the first pick in the NBA draft, Mike? You have any idea?
No, I have no idea.
How about 4 years, $57 million? That's why you go pro.
Well, but that's Cooper. It drops off pretty quick after about 20.
If you get to be the 20th pick, I think it's still 10 or 15 million.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of money, man. I mean, the money's crazy, and I wonder if Trey White lives out of boxes because he moves every year.
But that's why I do wish they'd have the 19-year rule, just because when you're 17, 18, and then 19, you get to go to college. You lose your college years because there's no logic in enjoying that. And do you know how many times you get to go back to 19, Steve?
Never.
Yeah.
Mike, thanks for the call, friend. Appreciate it, buddy.
Have a good one, Mike.
Thank you for calling, 822. Well, if you want to use Busey, you know that there's 37,000 ATMs nationwide now for Busey, including nearly 3,400 ATMs in Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, and Florida. No need to sign up, no fee to participate. You can download the Busey mobile app. You can view balances, transfer funds, pay your bills, pay a person, deposit checks directly from your mobile device. Additional banking tools include the Busey eBank, the e-statements, Busey bill payment. Busey's innovative products and services provide a number of advantages like convenience, time saving, safe and secure. Yeah, they've got it all built in. Believe me, they've got people 24/7 working on their stuff, and they protect you like they protect their own families. From surcharge-free ATMs to the Busey mobile app and beyond, Busey keeps you connected to your accounts from coast to coast. Visit Busey.com for a complete look at their mobile and online banking services for over 155 years. Busey, member FDIC. Well, we're a little stressed out about the markets. Let's find out more.
I'm Jerry Willis, and this is the Fox Business Report. Global markets are losing more ground, and stock futures are selling off again on continued concern about the impact of tariffs. And there is an airline merger. Republic Airways and Mesa Air Group will combine. The two regional carriers will operate under the Republic name and will operate more than 1,250 daily departures. The airline will continue partnerships with American Airlines, Delta, and United. Mesa's headquarters is in Phoenix. Republic's Phoenix is outside Indianapolis. J.P. Morgan Chase CEO Jamie Dimon says the tariffs imposed by the U.S. and other countries will increase inflation and boost the probability of recession. Dimon's comments are in his annual letter to shareholders released today. He also says even after the two-day sell-off, stock prices remain relatively high. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Jenny Coselda. Invested in you.
Kudlow on Fox Business is now on the go for podcast fans. Download the Kudlow Show podcast every weekday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com. Kudlow covers the latest headlines and business trends with an emphasis on the financial impact facing households and businesses across the country. Listen to interviews with key business newsmakers. The Kudlow podcast will be available on the go after the show every weekday at foxbusinesspodcasts.com or wherever you download your favorite podcasts.
We're back. We have Paul Rican from Dick Van Dyke Appliance World on the air. Paul, what makes buying an appliance at Dick Van Dyke so special?
Well, Chris, it all starts with our service department. We have an in-house service team that's second to none. And Chris, is that a dog in the background?
Max, keep it down. Have a snack, buddy. Go ahead, Paul.
With our in-house service team, we have our free 10-year protection plan included on most appliance purchases.
Oh, sorry. Let me close the window here.
Should we start over? Or?
Nope, we are on the air.
All right, so with our free protection plan, we also give you a lifetime discount on the service call even after the 10 years runs out.
Hey, cut it out for a second. Sorry, Paul, I have a basement remodel going on. Did you say a service call discount for the life of the appliance? Uninterrupted discounted service?
Uninterrupted discounted service.
For the life of the appliance. Uninterrupted, huh? I like that.
No interruptions. The kind of service that makes Dad say,
wow.
Dick Van Dyke Appliance World. When you buy from us, you get the whole store.
So, small churches are fading. It's very hard. They consolidate. It's very difficult in a small town to have a church that survives these days. They go to bigger churches. They don't have enough staff or they don't have enough money. And we've got, something still going on in Philo.
Yes, Stevie, I got to tell you that Bobby and I, Mom's on the road to recovery. She just couldn't get to church, so we wanted to stay close, and we went to our church across the street, Philo Presbyterian, yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
And we sat in our pew.
Same pew. My dad was on the far right.
I would have deferred to the more recent members since that was 50 years ago.
Yes.
But it was great and get to see people that the kids or grandkids of people that we went to church with, and it's still going. And we had a great pastor, great sermon.
Well, that's awesome because small churches are struggling. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
But the fact that Philo Presbyterian Church is still going is really awesome. That's so good. You got to see some folks, and we used to have some of those, what do they call, Mariners Nights? Everybody bought a potluck, and it was just like the best in the world.
Oh, I love it.
Because it was, Aunt Irma making something. I mean, just that kind of stuff where the food was ridiculous.
Well, we were probably over-serving ourselves,
Yeah,
too.
some of that.
And we get in the front.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Got to do that.
I remember
I went to the fish fry at St. Matt's.
I remember back with my friend Greg Silver, and we had plates that we had to carry with two hands going back and
loaded.
And then Dwayne, Greg's dad, was at the back of the line, and he looks at it and goes, "That's just disgusting."
Well, because
how much you had on your plate?
Will
there be any left?
Get anything.
Well, only 6 people got a chocolate pie, right? I mean, so it went
usually
quick.
out of the first 8, the pie was gone.
The pie was gone.
Yeah.
So there's all that. And then there was the time we kind of set a kite record in Philo, where we had a kite airborne for over 8 hours.
Well,
and we tied it up because we had to go to church for the Mariners thing.
Oh.
And we found it late that night over near the Johnsons.
No, it
still
was
up.
a good
The
half
wind.
a half a mile of string.
Yeah. Johnny tried to do a mile long string.
Yes, and it broke free.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, too much tension.
Yeah.
But that's the start of your engineering
We found
career.
that one somewhere around Sydney.
Yeah. I think it was Mr. Cinders that found that.
Yeah.
for us. Johnny made a kite and had a bet he could go a mile with string, and that was the beginning of his engineering career and tension. So, all about
actually,
tension.
I lost a bet because the string broke, but, that's part of the engineering.
That's right.
I paid Seconder in pennies because I was a bad sport.
Right.
I was actually a bad sport.
Yeah.
But really, the Tinker Toys had something to do with it too, right? And the erector set and all of that.
Yeah.
It's amazing the things that the productive play that we can have as kids, and how that can.
Well,
lead
our
to where
father
you are
was a
today.
professor of civil engineering and structures at the U of I, so that had an influence because we knew all these people from a social standpoint. They'd come to dinner or play cards, and so we were introduced to the engineering world young.
Yeah. Pleasant and a lot of laughing. Okay, we will return. We're going to do the news, come back for our final segment of the morning. It is Monday, April 7, ESPN 93.5. Brother Johnny's hanging out with Diane Ducey.
Yeah, Florida and Houston tonight, 7:50 start on CBS for the championship in the NCAA.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
Attention all truck drivers looking for a new opportunity with great pay and amazing benefits. Gale Frericks Trucking has got you covered. Join their team, receive a $4,000 sign-on bonus. That's right, $4,000 just for coming on board. Plus, enjoy a $1,200 gross weekly pay guarantee. Drive their state-of-the-art Freightliner Cascadia trucks equipped with a revolutionary system designed to reduce weight and downtime. Get home every weekend and some nights during the week with paid vacations and holidays. They offer company-sponsored health insurance and all the benefits you deserve. Regional drivers get first priority. Don't wait. Apply in person at Dedicated Diesel, 1313 Triumph Drive, Urbana, or call Tim at 765-505-1295. That's 765-505-1295. Start your journey today with Gale Frericks Trucking. The sounds of spring and the smell of flowers in the air, they all add up to Spring Green, America's neighborhood lawn care team. They become your favorite through quality service and professionalism. Spring Green will service and maintain your lawnscape with seeding, aeration, fertilizing, disease, and insect control. Over 32 years of satisfied customers reflect their commitment to Champaign-Urbana and the Mattoon Charleston area. Call Spring Green at 217-359-2111 or online at spring-green.com.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. Stocks are lower in early day trading on Wall Street after big losses last week when President Trump announced tariffs on worldwide imports. A Trump supporter, billionaire hedge fund manager Bill Ackman, is urging a 3-month pause for renegotiations or risk what he calls a self-induced economic nuclear winter. White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett on Fox.
So the idea that it's going to be a nuclear winter or something like that is completely irresponsible rhetoric.
He says President Trump spoke to world leaders all weekend listening to proposals. After days of rain, there are rivers and floodwaters rising in parts of the South and Midwest. Fox Weather's Mike Seidel in Jacksonport, Arkansas.
The White River is going to crest later on today, but then stay above flood stage till Wednesday. The river has actually come up 25 feet since late last week, so it's way, way over its banks and still rising about another foot.
There's flooding in downtown Frankfurt and mandatory evacuations in the towns of Falmouth and Butler, Kentucky. America's listening to Fox News.
Here's a look at local news. After a busy election week, Champaign School District shaping up to look very different with new leadership on the board. Christy Arnold, Tony Bruno, and Grace Kang won the vote for full 4-year terms. Altogether, the three got more than 15,000 votes. Illinois State University and its faculty union reaching a tentative agreement Friday, averting a strike that could have begun at any moment. Terms of the deal not released. The agreement comes after nearly 50 negotiating sessions between ISU administrators and the United Faculty of ISU Union. Illinois joining a lawsuit filed over President Trump's executive order that attempts to reshape elections in the U.S. The Illinois Attorney General and 18 other attorneys general suing the administration, claiming the order signed last month is an unconstitutional attempt to impose sweeping voting restrictions across the country. The suit seeks to block certain aspects of the order, including a requirement that Americans must provide documentary proof of citizenship when they register to vote. You're locally up to date from the Stevie J Broadcasting Newsroom. I'm Jim Miller.
Switching is easy. We do it all the time. We switch on the lights. We switch TV channels. Some of us switch partners while square dancing. Well, that's a stretch. But what's not a stretch is how you can switch and save with State Farm. In fact, State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow right here in Champaign-Urbana can switch you over so you can start saving today. Kurt and his team are ready to welcome you to the State Farm neighborhood. It's easy to switch and save. Just give them a call when you want the real deal. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Why use Land's Underground Solutions? We have the team, the technology, the tools, and the most experienced team in the industry.
Hi, it's Wes from Land's Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling. Our mission at Land's is to provide top-tier service, prioritize our customers with upfront pricing, and maintain exceptional communication. We assure you at Land's we will only recommend what you truly need, from regular maintenance on your home's mechanical systems with the Land's Comfort family to replacement of existing equipment. Now would be a great time to consider updating your HVAC system. Visit us at landsinc.com.
Well, again, everyone, let's check weather for East Central Illinois. Champaign-Urbana vicinity, a drier weather pattern expected for this week. Much quieter as well across the area from a severe weather standpoint. A little on the chilly side for the next couple, a hint of late winter time, but full-fledged spring will be in our midst here for the weekend and into next week as well. We'll have a couple of sprinkles evolve as the day wears on today. Upper system and a strong cold front on the move. That may lead to a couple of flurries mixed in later on this afternoon and evening time up to 47, and maybe a drive southward on temperatures. They'll fall a bit this afternoon on an increasing west-northwesterly wind and a partly sunny sky. A few flurries and sprinkles early on tonight. Clearing skies, colder overnight frost and freeze at 25 for the low. Tomorrow, hard frost and freeze to start. Sunny skies, chilly, and 46. 33 tomorrow night, low to mid-50s, and a couple of rain showers here Wednesday to Thursday. No big amounts. Dry Friday at 56. We warm it up nicely for the weekend at 61 Saturday, 67 on Sunday. Should top 70 around here early next week. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Soldier.
Drive in, drive out. Recycling's what Max is all about. You can make some cash and do your share. We make it really simple because we care. It doesn't matter large or small. Our friendly staff will handle it all. Starting it over is what we do at Max Twin City Recycling.
Sarah Champagne Managing Partner Ben Quattrone.
We're always looking for people. You can go online and apply on our website. We never know what we're going to need. We're always expanding. We're always building more and growing our business. If we don't need a person and they come along and we find out that they're an eagle, they're a star, we'll hire them. We'll put them somewhere and wait for the spot we're going to have them working.
Learn more at sarahchampagne.com. He's pretty good.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Got another Subaru, Steve.
How do you like your Subaru?
Good car.
Why do you like Subaru?
Well, it's got one of the better all-wheel drive systems.
Yeah.
They really have a great technology there.
Yeah.
Got a pretty good, powerful little engine, one of the more powerful engines, which you need to maintain separation. Because a wide receiver, you really don't want contact. You want to gain freedom to catch the ball before someone creams you. You gain separation. Same with driving. You don't want to mess with the semis.
Yep. You can get caught on the side of a semi if somebody's in front of you slow.
Well, you kind of lay back to
and then bolt,
let him
right.
Don't be driving right next to it. I mean, it's just a driving tip.
Well, sometimes I mean, it might be all me, but I find sometimes that if there's a truck side by side.
Well, then they're blocking the road,
and they're on this. Everything's monitored, so they want to see if you stay within the speed limit. So they're kind of
they should. I think they're actually bumping it up and letting them go faster passing.
Yeah,
I've noticed there's less of the 5-minute passes.
No,
which
right.
piles up traffic. I'll lay back a quarter mile. There's no reason to get up in it.
Yep.
Unless there's a long line on your left, then you're stuck because you're not going to.
Well, it's usually not that bad.
But I've been side by side truck from Champaign to past Tuscola. They just didn't move. And I was trying to call the 800 numbers on their trucks.
Really,
it was nothing I could do. I was
How much traffic was backed up there?
Not too bad. It wasn't too crowded, but those two were just like, I'm going to block this thing.
No, I don't like that. That's unsafe driving.
Yeah,
and they
but
know better.
with the
but-
monitoring of speed, it's a whole different ballgame with insurance and everything else and all of that.
Well,
So-
one of them could, even if you can't go any faster, the other guy can slow down. They got to be aware
something
that they're
right.
blocking
Let-
the road,
if the
and
guy-
they are.
The guy on the right can slow a lot easier than the guy on the left could go.
The only solution that really works is 3 lanes. Ohio's
Yeah,
got a bunch
yeah.
of 3 lanes.
Yep.
3-lane interstates on both
Nice.
sides. Then the 2 trucks, they're not allowed in the left lane. And
All right, so I was in Milwaukee over the weekend and did see the Day of Resistance crowd in downtown Milwaukee, right in the heart of downtown. There were a lot of people there now. I did not see the crowd. I was on a rooftop, but I was blocked to see how many. But when they cheered, it sounded like a football game. I mean, it could have had echoes of the buildings because they're pretty tall buildings. But it was, I don't know who was saying what. I couldn't hear the speaker.
I don't think the point was the resistance to what? Whatever's going on.
Well, it's just anti-Trump, and the fact that they're claiming fascism and anti-democracy and Nazis is kind of what the communists always said back in the day, of always blame them for something that is negative. And so if you say the Republicans and Trump are fascist and Nazi-like and all these other things, and they say eventually people believe it.
It's not quite the same these days because you cannot censor social media. It's still out there. That's what happened. They went to the podcast, Steve. The mainstream source of information lost some ground because there was other access and people could hear it and they say, well, that really actually makes more sense than what I've been hearing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's no, you can't let them hear. You've got to censor. You can't let them hear the other side, or you can't sell a bill of goods. If it's true, it doesn't take long to cut through it because people are pretty smart if they think for themselves.
Well, if you think about, there's 340 million people in America. The CNN has an average audience of maybe 500,000 to 1 million. MSNBC can get 2.5 million. Fox News can get 4 million. Jimmy Kimmel gets 2.5 to 3 million. I mean, there's not very many people absorbing that live.
A lot of those are doubling up too.
Yeah, I'm wondering, how am I seeing most of my stuff on X now? I am.
Well, you do have more than just those sources. You have newspapers that are largely liberal slant in the bigger cities. New York Times, Washington Post,
but the newspaper
etc.
industry, I think you're seeing,
it's still out there.
It's out there, but it's late.
And then you also
you're
have,
getting everything current on your phone, and then everything else you can read about.
Until recently, Google, a huge source of reference, was a little biased. Driving, you hear what shows up. This shows up.
Right.
Wait a minute. What about the Trump's poll numbers? You have to look up Trump poll numbers, and then it's still like 19th.
Yeah.
And then it's and the first 5 things. Kamala shows up 5 points here.
Yeah.
And that's what was going on. And so it has the influence, but it still won't work unless you can squelch, as in eliminate, disagreement. And that has to be done artificially because people will never disagree, never agree on everything.
Here's a few folks at the Resistance, 1,300 rallies reportedly in the country yesterday. Just some of what they say.
I am protesting what is happening with this blessed country. The democracy that was advanced democracy now in transition to dictatorship. And we are almost in the fascist state right now.
Anything that Trump stands for?
I think that our fearless leader, Mr. Trump, has a very negative attitude towards the world, and that he is tariffing us and arresting people like they did in early 1940s in Germany.
I'm a professor, and I'm especially concerned about higher education and cuts to science.
Well, I am protesting the fascist regime, the deconstruction of our constitutional rights and our government.
We've been taken over by a bunch of robber barons who are trying to take away all of our rights, benefits, and liberty.
Change can be tough, Johnny. Change can be tough.
So arresting people, the people that are arrested are in the country illegally and are committing crimes. I don't know why you would want to let them continue to hurt other people. That's who we're arresting. No, and they'd have no constitutional rights. And if they did, they should still be arrested. So that idea, and you hear some of the left media folks, I could be arrested. I could be there going to come and get me.
Right.
No, not one of them has been arrested. And yet, Trump was more or less attacked by our law enforcement on a number of fronts in a pretty bogus manner. And that was the kind of thing I saw, what they're complaining about, I saw under Biden.
Well, I think that the people that believe Trump's going to arrest him believe it. I think they really do believe that.
Well, they might.
I think they just.
But
that's what they've been.
What
fed.
are they basing that on? And I think that's when I get back to you have to think for yourself and go with what you're seeing.
My Patrick's my brother-in-law Janet's brother Patrick came in for our weekend in Milwaukee, and he went to a protester and said, "Didn't Trump win?" I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to you.
Really?
I see.
So
yeah. Like you say,
listen.
what are you going to do when we really can't even have a conversation? And that's what's different. That's a deliberate strategy, which is no more compromise.
Right.
That's a progressive run. That is not the Democratic Party that we know. And but the Democratic Party did a great job of creating a loyalty to the brand. And it's like a sports team.
But examine the brand.
Well, they're starting to.
But if you examine the brand and the history of the brand's not very good.
We used to kind of think RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard were liberals. They've moved to Trump.
Yeah, right.
And they've seen the same thing that we're seeing, which is explain why you continually promote the idea that a guy can have a baby. Let's talk about it, because it's never happened before.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of most of your girlfriends will tell you that girls are different than guys, and most of your guy friends will tell you. Where are you getting it? Why do you want to push that? You don't say what's your problem, because you're trying. What's your
thinking?
What's your perspective?
What's your
on
thinking
that?
on all that? Yeah.
They don't want to talk to you, Nazi.
No. It is unbelievable the times we're living. There's no doubt.
Well, it's similar in terms of pushing something that you want, whether it's true or not.
Yeah.
That's happened over and over and over.
But you said brand, the Democratic brand. Andrew Jackson, first Democratic president, massacred a lot of Indians, and I think the Democrats at the left would be really against all that.
That's my theory of why they don't want any vestige of the Indian known, so they're canceling all reference to Indians and sports team and everything else. It got nothing to do with, honor the Indian. What Indian? They're getting rid of any reference to the American Indian.
And so you also had, obviously, they were pro-slavery and Emancipation Proclamation. They were against all that. They created the KKK in 1868.
Well, because they were also bad sports. I'm also a bad sport. But they were bad sports about losing the slaves.
Yeah.
So then they still had the discrimination thing, which was enforced by the Klan. And then it was the Republicans that wrote the Civil Rights Acts and couldn't get it through. And one of the biggest problems they had was one of the better politicians we've had, which was Lyndon Johnson, who also was smart enough to know, we can't beat this thing. We're going to switch and call them racist.
Yeah.
Started then in the 60s. Worked ever since.
Okay.
It's just now, 70 years later, starting to not work so well.
Took a long time.
It sure did.
All right, 8:46, ESPN 93.5. A quick check of your sports headlines before we get Greg's weather one more time as well. Let's check the latest. Greg is coming up next for sports. Diane Ducey.
I just saw Scott Hamilton's birthday is today.
Oh, happy birthday, Coach.
He's got
Here in Rocket Nation.
Got a lawn chair on a beach somewhere, doesn't he?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, I mean, we'll be retiring after 31 seasons at Unity, and Tony Reitz will be stepping into that
great.
football position. As far as baseball, Boston over the St. Louis Cardinals, 5-4 in 10 innings. Now it's Pittsburgh. Let's see how we do. 5:45 start here on ESPN 93.5. Padres beat the Cubs 8-7. I think that prevented a sweep, though.
Yep, they were going to sweep the Padres, which were an undefeated team. I mean, they were really good.
Yeah.
And Cubbies are playing well. Craig Counsell, their manager, is one of the best.
Out of the Brewers.
I think the Cubs have a great chance this year.
Mm-hmm. Justin Steele on the mound as we face Texas at Wrigley. That's a 6:40 start over on US 105.9. Detroit over the Chicago White Sox. That final was 4-3. Illinois baseball sweeps Maryland 18-11 on the season. Illinois softball split with Northwestern. And now they've got Michigan State coming up on Friday. Illinois golf, third in Augusta Haskins tournament. So congratulations to Illinois golf. In women's basketball, UConn over South Carolina, 82-59. Some comments about the coaching on South Carolina's side when we had talked about, we're not sure why we don't like South Carolina. Actually, Dawn had worked with Gino when it came to the Olympics a few years back.
Coach of South Carolina worked with coach of UConn.
That's right. Destiny Jackson, Miss Basketball. That award was given out on Friday.
She's coming to Illinois.
She's coming to Illinois. Bulls over the Hornets. We have Florida and Houston tonight with a 7:50 start over on CBS if you want to watch the NCAA championship round. Washington Capitals with Alex Ovechkin with goal number 895, passing Wayne Gretzky's all-time goal-scoring lead.
I'd like to see Aaron Judge be the home run king and beat Barry Bonds because I think Aaron Judge is legit.
Yeah.
And Barry, I don't think is from the standpoint of steroid era and all of those guys. It was pretty fun watching Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire that year. But I don't think Hank Aaron should ever have been displaced. Roger Maris should never be displaced.
Roger Maris had it.
Yeah. Of course, I think Aaron Judge beat it, but just...
Did he have over 60?
I think he did, but Maris would still be the National League record holder, and this would be the American League. Anyway, here's my pool, Johnny. I had it going on. Had everybody just right.
Oh, Duke.
And I had Duke and Auburn playing for tonight.
Yeah.
Wrong. I told you Dirk Rice had it right. He had Florida and Houston. How about that?
And he has Houston, I believe.
Yeah, Houston. Okay, we'll see what happens. It's Florida favored by 1.5. They got this kid named Claiborne Jr., and he just was unbelievable, I think, against Texas Tech. And Florida made all their shots at the end, kind of like when we beat Purdue. We made all our shots at the end, just like they had done to us a year before. Anyway, it's off to a new season. The big news over the weekend with Illinois basketball is Tomislav Isevic is coming back, and so is his brother. He's joining us from Arkansas.
That's right.
So we got big, tall people. Some think they're not physical enough to play inside. They're more perimeter players, but that's kind of the league now in the NBA. Remember Anthony, what's the guy's name? Anthony Davis that shoots threes and traded from the Lakers?
Jake
Jake
Davis.
Anthony Davis is for the Lakers. He traded to wherever he was traded, Dallas or something.
Talking about our portal.
And Tecumbo shoots threes. He just can't make them either. But he still shoots them. And he's 20% from there and 75% inside. But guess what? He's going to pop those threes. I love it. I tell you something, Steve. It's a different game, and I'm going to tell you this every time we talk about basketball. It's who can manage the three-point line the best.
Who can manage the three-point line the best. Okay. Break for the weather with meteorologist Greg Solier. That will be coming up next.
When it comes to vascular care, it's important to have a medical team focused on clinical excellence, innovation, compassion, and continuity of care. Specialists within the Christie Clinic Vein and Vascular Center offer comprehensive services for all vascular disorders, including reducing complications from your diabetes. Call the Christie Clinic Vein and Vascular team for a consultation today at 366-2670. With locations close to home and work, their specialists can help you avoid surgery and keep your limbs healthy.
Fighting Illini fans, your Illinois football team is coming off a 10-win season as Citrus Bowl champs. This fall, Illinois returns 18 starters from the Citrus Bowl victory, including star quarterback Luke Altmaier for a third straight season. Led by head coach Brett Bielema, the Fighting Illini are listed on nearly every major top 25 ranking for the 2025 season. Stay up to date on all things Fighting Illini football at fightingillini.com. We can't wait to see you back in Memorial Stadium this fall.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands from Lands Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Underground Solutions. Are you tired of dealing with leaky faucets, basement flooding, bursting or leaking pipes? From plumbing maintenance and repairs to installing new water heaters and sump pumps, our goal is to get you up and running as soon as possible.
This is Eric Boland with Provident Financial Group. Unfortunately, there is no one-size-fits-all retirement plan. Finding the right plan for you depends on many factors. The good news is we can help improve your retirement readiness, whatever your situation. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Logan, everyone, let's check weather for East Central Illinois. Champaign, Van Ness, Saturday, nice and welcome and much needed pattern shift across the area. It points to the east and south coming off those prolific rains, particularly in areas south of the I-70 corridor to the Ohio and points on southward. Not completely dry, but drier. And we will finally recover back to more seasonal norms around here for the end portion of the week with a big warm-up slated for the weekend and beyond. 47, the best we could muster up today with a few sprinkles this morning and perhaps a couple snowflakes this afternoon. Yeah, you heard me right. Temperatures may drop a bit as skies turn partly sunny, increasing west-northwesterly wind. A couple of flurries and sprinkles early on tonight, turning colder, clearing on the overnight hours, and some frost and freezing conditions down at 25. Freeze warning in effect across the entire area from Champaign County on southward. Tomorrow, frost and a hard freeze to start. Sunny skies, chilly 46. A couple of rain showers Wednesday and Thursday. Daytime temperatures in the low to mid-50s, back up to 56 a dry Friday. 60s for the weekend. For Stevie J Broadcasting, I'm meteorologist Greg Solgay.
Are you tired of shivering in the winter? Look no further than your local heroes at ABC Heating and Air Conditioning. Hi, this is Gina inviting you to give us a call at 217-352-5400 to book your appointment to make sure your furnaces run safely and efficiently this winter. We've been proudly locally owned and operated and have been serving our community for over 50 years. ABC, always be comfortable. Call me 217-352-5400 to book your appointment today or go to abcheatingandac.com.
Okay, I just told Johnny Cooper Flagg's a senior in high school, and so is Will Riley. They should be asking their date to prom. These guys played up a year, and Cooper just turned 18, and he's going to be the number one pick in the NBA draft.
Amazing.
And Will Riley is the same exact thing. So yeah, he needs more maturity, but I don't know why I have a pet peeve. Don't call them student athletes. I'm salty about that. They're not student athletes anymore.
They're players.
They're free agents or something.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, it doesn't matter.
I just remember being 17 and 18, and I think it's better for them to have the freedom. And if you got an offer for $10 million, that's not free to enjoy your youth.
Yeah.
And
maturity.
At the time, I didn't realize how short that was.
But Johnny, if it takes care of the finances for the family for a generation,
it's a no-brainer. What I'm saying is it shouldn't be offered. I think it's almost it's a shame for the kids. And I feel sorry he got $10 million, but it is too bad that they get to grow up that quick. And by the way, jumping in as an 18-year-old into the NBA, there's some rough boys there.
There were stories.
Those boys are tough.
Yep. Remember Kevin Durant?
You're going to grow up fast or go home.
Kevin Durant was 19 when he entered the NBA, and there were stories of guys going home to their family, and Kevin was in the hotel room playing, Pokemon. He's doing video games. It's only 19. All right, gotta go. Johnny, thank you. Appreciate you being around.
Man,
awesome.
What time is it? It's 8:54 already.
Time to go.
I know. Time flies when we're having fun here on ESPN 93.5.
That's Brother Johnny. Thank you, Diane.
Enjoy the day.
And thanks for listening. Cardinals on at 4:45. The boys till then after 3. I'm Stevie J. Thank you for listening. Have a great Monday.
Get the roof your home deserves by Roof Doctors, your residential roofing specialist that has always offered the best warranties in the industry, like our non-prorated 50-year warranty. Our customers love that we are family-owned and locally operated. We make our customer needs our top priority. With over 30 years experience and the best customer service, give Roof Doctors a call today for your free estimate at 328-7529. In your community and for your community, Roof Doctors.
At Pards in Urbana, the boots just keep on coming. They're known for their huge collection of men's cowboy boots, women's cowgirl boots, kids' boots, and even shoes. If you're searching for top footwear brands, look no further than Pards. They carry a wide variety, including Ariat, Dan Post, Smoky Mountain, Roper, Double H, and more. And if socks or accessories are what you need, they've got all your high-quality essentials. Since 1968, Pards has been serving their customers with high-quality merchandise. And if you haven't been to Pards in a while, a lot has changed. Go check them out just off University Avenue in Urbana.
Hi, I'm Troy Lands from Lands Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Underground Solutions. Are you tired of dealing with leaky faucets, basement flooding, bursting or leaking pipes? From plumbing maintenance and repairs to installing new water heaters and sump pumps, our goal is to get you up and running as soon as possible. At Lands Plumbing, we have 24/7 emergency service and a team of highly skilled professionals that will work with you to get the job done right the first time. I'm Troy Lands. You can count on my company because you can count on me.
Hi, I'm Tyler Weaver, president of Carpet Weavers Flooring and Furniture Gallery. It's time to come home to Carpet Weavers. We don't want you to just like your new floors. We want you to love them. From waterproof floors and carpet to furnitures and design advice, we've got a team of experts on your side. We'll get you the best price and the best quality products. And complete your home with furniture and accessories. Buy it all with free financing too. Come home to Carpet Weavers, where floors, furniture, and family meet.
When the storm rolls in, where will you go? Don't wait until it's too late. Protect your family with a custom storm shelter from Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services. At Berg Tanks, their shelters are fiberglass and plate steel safe rooms that can be installed in your garage or exterior, in ground, or on a concrete pad. Built to withstand the toughest storms, giving you a safe, secure place when you need it most. Whether you need a compact unit for a small space or a larger shelter for the whole family, they've got you covered. Their expert team handles everything from excavation to installation so you can have peace of mind before the next storm strikes. Berg Septic also specializes in septic pumping, new system installation, grease trap cleanings, repairs, and maintenance plans to keep your home running smoothly. Call Berg Septic and Storm Shelter Services today at 217-367-8632 or visit them online at bergtanksinc.com. That's BERGtanksinc.com.
Jesse with Lands Underground Solutions here. Hey, we come across customers every single day that they've had 1 or 2, maybe 3 companies there and have been told their sewer line or drain line's broke. The homeowner's getting ready to spend money, and then they call us, we show up, we stick a camera in the line, and we're able to show them the inside of the pipe, what the problem really is. Then we can offer you solutions to deal with this, and now you are in control of this decision. That is Lands Drain Cleaning and Underground Solutions' mission. Provide good, honest, upfront solutions to customers and let them make the decision.
What is most important in your life? This is Rob Meyer with Provident Financial Group. Whether you're launching a career, raising a family, planning for retirement, or creating a legacy, we can help. At Provident, we provide strategic thinking and perspective that can help clients like you realize your goals. Contact us today at 217-366-3456 or find us online at providentfinancialgroupllc.com.
Securities and advisory services offered through Commonwealth Financial Network. Member FINRA SIPC, a registered investment advisor.
Here's the deal. When you combine State Farm home and auto insurance, you save an average of $889. State Farm agent Kurt Lenschow is